Brown.
Thank you, Chairman Meyer, Vice Chair Thury, members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. My name is Andrew McVeigh. I'm the president of Texans for Fiscal Responsibility. Texas families are facing an affordability crisis that is being exacerbated by property taxes, a never-ending tax that fundamentally serves as a form of perpetual rent to the government. And while the legislature has taken steps recently to address the rising burden of property taxes, these efforts unfortunately have not gone far enough. With the passage of SB 2 last year, the legislature provided $12.7 billion, roughly one-third of the surplus, in new relief for school M&O property taxes for 23 and 24, resulting in the second largest property tax relief package in recent history. But unfortunately, total property tax levies last year stayed relatively flat, possibly decreasing by roughly $340 million, or about 0.4%, although even the most recent data is incomplete. Once the missing school districts are accounted for in the data from the Comptroller's office, it is quite possible that the total property taxes still increased last year. Either way, that's not a very good return on a $6.4 billion investment, and it's certainly not historic or lasting relief. This is in part because schools, cities, counties, and special districts all increased taxes substantially, offsetting efforts made by the legislature. The key problem here is government spending. Record levels of state spending, including the largest spending increase, at least in recent history, last year, resulted in less revenue available for tax relief, and substantial increases in local government spending offset the relief that was provided. Going forward, putting Texas on a permanent path to eliminating school M&O property taxes must be the objective and can be achieved with these steps. First, reverse the trend of rapid state spending increases by freezing state appropriations and cutting spending, thereby growing the surplus that is available for tax relief. Secondly, curtail local government spending by capping spending increases to the rate of population growth plus inflation at a minimum. And finally, school M&O property taxes should be frozen, and the legislature should use 90% of future surplus revenue to compress school M&O rates until the tax is eliminated entirely. Forms of relief such as the homestead exemption should be completely avoided, as it is not sustainable, while also failing to provide relief to small businesses, renters, and other property owners. These steps will bring us much closer to true property ownership and foster an environment in which businesses and Texas families can truly thrive and prosper. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Members, any questions?
Yeah, but thank you for that, Mr. McVeigh. I'm just I'm trying to understand. The goal here is to provide additional property tax relief, and how to get there in a responsible way. Because the last thing we want to do is get out over our skis and come back and say, "Oops, we got to take a step backwards."
Sure.
No one wants to be in those shoes. So there are a lot of folks that are going to be pushing us to go further and deeper, and I want to go as far and as deep as we can. But at the end of the day, we're the ones that are here that are going to have our names on it, and those out there are not. And so if you look at this in the most responsible way, how to further reduce property taxes, and it's focused on M&O. Let's stay focused there. How would you do it?
Well, as I mentioned, and as my colleague Bill Peacock mentioned, focusing on school M&O property taxes, that's the easiest to deal with, right? And addressing it from a rate compression approach solely. That, again, provides relief to all property owners, right? Homestead exemption, as the name implies, only provides relief to homesteaded properties. Compression applies relief to rental properties, to small businesses, et cetera. And so compressing down school M&O rates, as Mr. Peacock said, over several years can eliminate that portion of everyone's property tax bill, homeowners, farmers, ranchers, businesses, et cetera, in less than a decade. And so that's the approach that we're encouraging the legislature to take.